I just got back from seeing G.I. Joe Retaliation. And if you've been following me for a while on YouTube, you know how I feel about the first movie. I mean, that movie kind of raped my childhood, I'm not going to lie. But G.I. Joe Retaliation, I went into this film with very, very, very low expectations, especially since all my buddies over at webofcinema.com has been bashing this film since they seen it on Facebook, Twitter. I mean, Adam J. texted me the moment he got done seeing this film. He said this movie was crap. So by all means, when I went to go see this movie, I had absolutely no expectations of this film being good whatsoever. I knew the movie was going to suck going in. The question was, how much was it going to suck? How much time is it going to waste? The redeeming factor for me going into this film was the fact that this film was only an hour and a half. I think it was like an hour and 39 minutes. Did feel longer than that, however, but the slated time for it was an hour and 39 minutes. I swear there was about 30 minutes of previews before the movie, and all the films were like The Rock films. I mean, we had the new Michael Bay, Pain and Gain, which just looks like crap. We have Fast 6. I mean, all kinds of Rock movies are premiering for the trailers to this movie, probably because, you know, he's the star of G.I. Joe Retaliations. But let me digress. G.I. Joe Retaliation, like I said, I went into this film with absolutely no expectations of it being good, and I walked out of this film, you know, still arguing with Adam about this via text message. I actually had a kind of a decent time going to see this movie. By all means, this is not a great film, you know, but it's a DVD rental, you know, maybe a low matinee. I wouldn't go like to a 8 o'clock showing and pay full price to see this film. You know, I would go to, like, as soon as the movie theater opened up, you know, and pay the matinee price to go see this film, or possibly wait for it to get to like a $1.50 theater if you have one of those in your city, your neighborhood. But definitely, to me personally, I felt that this movie was much, much better than the first one. The first one, like I said in my review for the first one, was the CGI effects were horrible. It looked like a video game in some parts because the CGI was just not up to par with what film CGI is. I thought that the film overall, the first one, was very corny. I didn't like Dennis Quaid's role in that film. He actually played like absolutely no role in that film. I didn't like Marlon Wayne being cast in the first film. I've been on record for that. And I didn't like what they did with the Baroness. This movie, however, although it's not a reboot, it is a sequel, but they kind of clean everything up to try to reboot this franchise. With that being a cast, someone else is Cobra Commander, which thank God I didn't like Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Cobra Commander in the first one. That was one of my biggest gripes. I don't think they ever explained what happened to Dennis Quaid's character and Scarlet and Ripcord and all them. Maybe I didn't catch that, so if anybody knows, Adam, you know, text me, whatever. I don't know if they explained that, but they do kind of explain that, hey, Duke is taking over, you know, G.I. Joe, Cobra Commander, and Destro's in these cryo tubes, and so on. So, I mean, there's some explanations. We see where the one guy, I forgot his name, but he took over the president's identity. They go more into Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes past and clean that up a little bit. So, I mean, they really took different approaches in this movie. For the most part, it's a whole new cast besides Ray Park as Snake Eyes and the guy who plays Storm Shadow, and for a few other characters like the President and so on. But other than that, it's a whole new cast. Bruce Willis is in it. The Rock, who I will stand and tell you, I hate The Rock as an actor. I think The Rock cannot act at all, but he wasn't completely annoying in this film. It ain't like he rock bottom Cobra Commander on top of the White House or anything like that. So I went in this film with very low expectation, walked out rather pleased of the results. It wasn't so bad that it was insulting, sort of like Transformers. This is a movie that I would go see again. Not to see in theaters, but when it comes out on DVD, I will pick it up and I'll give it a rent and watch it again. It was an okay movie by all means. I mean, don't put words in my mouth. This is not a like Oscar-nominated film. This is not a great film. But I personally think, and I will argue with Adam about this until I'm blue in the face, until he's blue in the face, and I know it's only a matter of time when I see him again, we're going to have this conversation, but he swears up and down that the first one was better, and I think this is leaps and bounds over the first one, from everything to the way Cobra Commander looked, sound, and acted. I mean, just everything about this movie, everything was better than the first one. I mean, it was cast better. It was acted better. I mean, it shot better. The story isn't as corny as the first one. The action is better. I mean, just everything about this film is superior to the first one. The only thing that was a downer was Baroness wasn't in it. You know, I wanted to see her ass in leather again. But they make it up with the character Jay, so it's all good and gravy there. So, G.I. Joe Retaliation. If I have to give it a score, it's going to get a 3. I'm going to give it a 3 because it's an average movie. It's not that bad. It's not that good. It's what you would expect from a movie made from action figures. I mean, I don't know if you're expecting some kind of epic Oscar-nominated film here, but G.I. Joe Retaliation, I give it the stamp of approval. Until next time, guys, I'm Robert Storm.